Guys, I'm taking a sports nutrition class, and I won this in my class
Sweet.
for
Nice.
never missing and never being late.
Bro, for what, 2 weeks? Didn't school just start?
Yeah, I've been in for school for this is the 4th week. And she's, like, giving out shit, and I
Great
was
job.
like
Way to show
and
up.
it was, like, the little wheels, and somebody got picked before me, and I'm like, "Shit, bro, I hella want one of those Stanleys."
Wheels? What do you mean? Like
Like
a
the you know how
raffle?
we
Like a
do
yeah,
the
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no, like the Google wheel that, like,
Oh, same
randomizes
thing.
everything, and I got picked 2nd, so I was like, "I'm taking that Stanley Cup." I'll make a public service announcement to all of Adrian's friends and families when it comes to this draft. Vote with your heart,
Yeah.
okay? Vote with your
So
heart.
I'm gonna tell you guys, like I tell my kids when they call me and be like, "Well, which one are you?" I tell them like, "Well, if you're not listening to the podcast, then it's just a guess. Which one are you going to go with?"
Okay,
Like,
so if they're listening to the podcast
which they're
and
not.
then they're voting for you because
They're
it's
not.
you, that's okay.
They're not. They're not. They're just voting for whatever they think is me.
I
Tough.
love that.
Yeah.
That's tough, you know.
They
So
recognize
that's
they'll recognize like 2 or 3 movies and be like, "Oh, only my dad is
That's
gonna pick that."
dads.
Yeah, that's that.
we've got to mix up our draft strategy to just pick Adrian movies just to
I know, right?
convolute the decision. What are you blending over there, man?
I was closing the garage.
God
Anthony's
damn.
outside. My son's back home. He was in New York for a week and now he's back home.
You're
And
just
Welcome
so
like,
he
what
back.
a week of absolute bliss.
he
Welcome
was
back.
like, "Dad, can you leave the garage door half open so he can come in and out and not, have to walk in front of me because I'm
And
in
it's just
his."
loud as hell outside.
Yeah, dogs are barking. People are mowing their lawn right now. Like,
Yeah, because it was 85 fucking degrees
yeah,
today. So
I
this
was
is like the
sweating.
only time where it's cool enough and we have some sunshine left.
Real
I think
talk.
it was the hottest day we've had since last summer here up here. It was like
I am
78,
not
I think it was
79,
like
ready
78.
87
for
or something right here.
summer down here.
That's too
Yeah,
hot. That's too
yeah,
hot.
I'm
yeah.
going to melt. I'm used to PNW summers,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like if you get a 76-degree
It's
day,
hot.
you're having the
That's why
best hot day of your life.
I'm saying it was fucking hot today. It's
Yeah.
76 hot day.
Yeah, see, 76. That's like perfect though. That's
Yeah.
perfect weather.
I went to sit in my little balcony spot, and like the sun was just on. It's like, ooh, like felt
Was
like
Kenny
fucking
just like
Nosferatu.
loving it? Like
He's
sunshine?
old. He'll get the sun from the window, but
Oh, okay,
like he
got
doesn't
it.
like coming out to the patio. It's kind of small space. But you ready over there, Kings? Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to seeing this bonus episode. We have an exciting draft today. We're going with the Gerber babyface assassin, Adrian Cedeno's birth year coming up. What's the date again? Do we want to let the people know?
My birthday's April 23rd, 1987.
So can we hack your information with your name and birthday? Should we cut that?
Probably.
Should we cut
Probably.
that?
I would just like to know why we're
You
announcing
guys can
that
take
to
whatever you
all of
want.
our listeners.
and now you're social? Go ahead.
There's not much.
Also on the call, we have the feisty Pisces Erica McMullen. I am the movie Mamba Mike Ornelas. And as I mentioned, we're doing the 1987 movie draft to celebrate Adrian's birth. I was 1 year old. Erica, what were
Was
your
not a thought in anybody's mind. Like my parents weren't even married.
what year
Yeah.
did they get married?
88.
I'm getting all the details for everyone. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
That's not one of my security questions for my bank
Okay.
account.
When were your parents married?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. So for this movie, do you guys feel pretty well versed for this movie for this year, 1987? Do you feel pretty well versed? Do you feel like you have a healthy amount of knowledge around the movies since we were hardly born?
I do.
So I feel like no, but when I actually looked at the single list I looked at, I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of movies. At least a lot of good movies. There were a lot of bad ones though too.
Yeah. I use Letterboxd as my tool to kind of see, you can sort by year the movies. So
Like
really, really
I did
helpful.
too. But I
And
feel like it was missing a couple.
like you thought they
Like
came
I
out in
could have sworn,
87?
yeah, I could have sworn
Like what?
like Scarface. I didn't see Scarface on this list.
Well, if you go to Letterboxd, you can type
I'm on
Scarface,
Letterboxd right now.
and it
I
says
stay on
1980. It
Letterboxd.
says 1983. So that was quite a few years off. But nonetheless, just showing
Close.
you the
It's close.
tools, like the knowledge at the fingertips for all you people interested in Letterboxd. Tutorial coming soon. But
And
nonetheless,
the Erica's list will hopefully one day
one day get updated.
be made.
The day when I see you review a movie, it's going to be, fucking,
I should have just done it for Mickey 17. You know what? I'll do that tonight.
you can. And as you do it, you can change the date to when you actually watched it. So
Cool.
keep that in mind, folks. It's an incredible app if you want to get in on all the cinematic fun. But for this episode, let's dive right into it. The categories are as follows. We have action, comedy, horror, sci-fi, drama, best actor, actress. Now, this is essentially picking the actor or actress that is best for the year, considering the role they have in that movie, and that movie will come off of the board. And then, of course, we have wild card. Let's bring up our wheel. All
Come
right,
on, Erica.
drafting first. Oh my
I get.
goodness. Well,
Yeah,
you win
How
some, you
did I
lose
know?
some. You win
my
some, you
God.
How
lose
did I
some.
know?
Oh,
Now
now
I want to go third.
to get the turn. Let's see. You
Yeah,
shouldn't have said that.
that's
Yeah, there
fine.
you go.
Yeah,
Adrian
I
second.
could deal with that. I could deal with the 2 pick at that third spot.
Excellent. So we have our order. I'm going first. And we also
Michael.
here, go ahead, talk about it. What are your thoughts as I get our sheet ready here?
I mean, there are like to be fair, if you guys watch Letterkenny, there are a lot of like solid movies specifically just for our categories, like action, like very staple action movies that came out, very staple horror sci-fi that came out, dramas, like every single category there's like very well-known films that are going to be in this. So I'm a little bit nervous about some of the categories going third. I'm a little nervous.
You know what's interesting about that is, sorry, interesting again. God damn it. Let's get,
It
I
is
need I need a
interesting.
tracker.
I'm
We all
just,
have our
you want to know,
trackers.
we'll just cop it up to I'm the most interesting person ever.
Yeah, sure. That's what it is. But how the categories fall into play, right? Because I think certain categories are a bit more saturated for this year
And
than
especially because
others.
me and Mikey are picking from the same list,
Well, and
essentially.
like I
Kind of.
know that Adrian's probably gonna pick, like if you're smart, Michael, you might want to get ahead in the action category
Or you're trying to veer me away
because
from your
I'm
pick.
expecting Adrian to pick
So
some solid movies in that category.
you know, it's funny. Here's the thing. There's one movie on here that is an Adrian movie. And
There's a
considering
couple.
there's
I
one in
want to know
specific,
what that means.
once it gets picked, I'll say it. But there's one movie in particular I think that the assassin army would think, oh, that's Adrian's, we're voting for him. We're talking about some of the cahoots going on the last
No,
draft
I'm
report
mixing
report.
shit up this
Yeah,
time.
So let's see. For the first pick, I've got to be true to myself, and I'm sorry, Erica. I think this is one of yours, but I have to take it. And that's The Princess Bride. As you wish. An incredible movie that is the perfect.
What category?
Ooh, that's an excellent question, right? I'm gonna take it in comedy. I'm gonna take it in comedy. So.
Smart.
Yeah, I mean, I think speaking of the categories that are, some are saturated, I think comedy might be a little dry for my taste. Maybe you guys think otherwise, but there are, a few good movies there that qualify. But The Princess Bride,
Like I'm saying though, you might think they're dry, but they're very staple
sure.
movies. Like if you mention any of these movies in this category that I think all of us are pretty equal on that one, you'd be like, oh yeah, like I know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like it's a good year for movies.
Tell me this. Is there a better family movie that's really for everyone in the family, like any age could watch, than The Princess Bride?
Shrek.
I don't know if Shrek's as good for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though we were
I don't think it
young.
was.
Yes, it's amazing for the kids. Don't
Okay,
ever
maybe.
take that away from the
Well,
children.
But
So here's
nowadays, they won't get a lot of the references, you know?
But to be fair, there is a lot of
you
I
just
mean,
think they don't get it, but
there's
the
just so
ones
many
that do get it,
references.
it's not appropriate because you do every once in a while get those kids that do understand the jokes,
Yeah,
and
sure.
it's like, whoa, they shouldn't be like, and they'll even look at me, and I was looking at this little kid like he understands exactly what the heck's going on
You're
right
like,
now.
what is
Yeah,
happening?
yeah,
Well, even to further my point, The Princess Bride doesn't really have a lot of that either. Like, the jokes are funny for adults, but they're not like adult humor. Like,
Yeah.
maybe one, and then I
It's
can't even
enough
think of
to
it.
get an adult to laugh, essentially.
Absolutely. It's
Mhm.
clever writing.
But it's also like the timing of the jokes and everything like that too really works out. Yeah.
Shout out Billy Crystal, Mad Max, just fucking incredible. He a legend. But that's my first pick, Princess Bride. We'll go over to Adrian for his first pick.
I hate you.
oh, okay, so
The papers are being
I got
flushed in.
notes. I got
Yeah.
notes. So
Okay.
I'm old school. I still write stuff out, even though I use Letterbox. I still got to write it out. Um, and I guess I should go with this drama because I don't have many, and I'm gonna go Full Metal Jacket.
You know
Yeah,
what? I love it though, because this is throwing off the non-listeners when they vote, because they're gonna think that's me.
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket drama. Okay, speak on it.
man, that's a all-time great war movie. Just so epic. Just having that drill sergeant play the perfect role, and he was nothing, like he doesn't really play any other role. That was his thing, and he was so good at it. Is
Yeah.
spot on. Like I still use phrases from that, and they're not appropriate for the airwaves, but
Sure.
it was a really good movie, like amazingly good movie.
Absolutely, yeah. Arlie Ermy. I hope I said his last name right. But he's great. He's the soldiers in Toy Story. He voices like the main soldier in that. To your point, shout out to him also though in Saving Silverman. He plays like the PE coach, so that gets locked up even though lives with
Yes.
them. But yeah, Full Metal Jacket, Stanley Kubrick, a classic. I think I actually might have showed that one to Anthony. I don't remember. It might have been too heavy. But
It
don't tell Rosalind.
might be too heavy for him.
Don't tell
Yeah.
Rosalind. Love you long time. All right, Erica, we go to your first pick.
Let's freaking go.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna go horror sci-fi for my first pick. This one was a little bit difficult for me because there's two, like, in my opinion, the two that I have top in my list are just like, you know, you don't really think about this time period in sci-fi and not think about these two movies. Um, I also feel like it would be a disservice to like my fans and friends and family if I didn't pick a vampire movie. So I am gonna go with The Lost Boys.
There it is.
Fun fact, the city in The Lost Boys was changed so that they didn't get like bad publicity, even though it was like very obvious to tell like where it was filmed. But yeah, just such I don't want to say I believe the story is unique in itself, but there's so much in not social media, but just in media in general that is reflected like from this. Like I've read like some books that like fantasy books that were inspired by this and kind of like, you know, spin off of it, or like even like fan fiction about it where people like wrote their own stories, and it such a big influence, such a great movie. So I'm gonna pick The Lost Boys for my horror sci-fi
Yeah, you got
pick.
your boy Jason Patrick, Corey Haim, Diane
Mm,
Wiest, Kiefer Sutherland. You know, good cast.
cuties.
It's very much a cult. I feel like this is like when you shop at
Cult classic. Yeah.
Hot
Cult
Topic fairs.
Yeah.
classic for sure. Yeah.
Had the Lost Boy shirts for sure.
hmm
Okay, so you went horror sci-fi first. You get another pick.
This one I'm a little bit.
It's tough because again,
It
I
is tough,
because
and I
me and
think I'm
Adrian
gonna
have
go with
Similar taste.
action.
Action, okay.
I think I'm gonna take an action movie, and I think I'm gonna have to go with Lethal Weapon.
Wow.
Mhm. I
Okay.
am gonna take Lethal Weapon. Again, like another like culturally um pretty like big movie culturally as far
Yeah.
as just like how certain movies are made and like the storylines go.
And it was a series. There was five
Yeah,
of them
like
It turned
total.
into a
don't
whole franchise. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, a whole
it was
like
awesome.
but that's like the crazy thing, right? Is like having a franchise back in this time was not really something that happened without something else already in place. So like a book or a
Hey,
storyline
outside of horror, I agree. And it's
yeah.
almost like if you look at some of the movies from this year, this was like the genesis of it. Like Lethal
Yeah,
Weapon had
yeah,
movies, and some other
100%.
movies
Yeah.
branched out from
So
this.
I feel like I would do my list a disservice if I didn't get it. So I'm gonna take Lethal Weapon
I
for
like
my
it.
action.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Sounded like that was on your list, Adrian.
It was on my list.
Yeah. Well, you
Yep.
got drama out of the way.
Gotta
That was
be
my
smart
action.
about
Yeah.
That was my action. All
We're
good.
taking blood on this one.
I wasn't expecting anybody to get that one.
It's Mel Gibson,
That was like a true buddy comedy, you know, like
Danny Glover, Gary
Danny
Busey.
Glover. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Danny Glover. Like he's a top makes my probably like maybe like top 15.
Okay.
Like
All time, huh?
anything I've ever seen him in, I enjoy it.
Can I guess your
So,
favorite?
say that again.
Can I guess your favorite?
Sure.
Angels in the Outfield. Let's go. How do I
It's
know?
not my
Come on.
favorite,
It's all right.
but I
It's all right.
do love that movie.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt in there. Just one of
I
his
Does
as a
not hold up.
baby,
Movie does
as
not
baby.
hold
a
up.
teeny tiny boy.
I mean, it was great for us as kids.
Yes. I
Yeah,
rewatched it with my daughter, and it just does not hit the same.
and you're just
No.
like, what the fuck was
It's
I
still sad.
watching?
Still a tearjerker, you know.
Yeah.
He just wants
It's
to
pretty
see his
heavy.
dad.
His kid lives
Yeah.
in a foster home and
But
just
that was
wants the
us.
Angels to win so he
That
can see
was
his dad.
us as 90 kids, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Had to be there. You had to be there. Speaking of that, we got to be here for your next pick, Adrian. What are we going with?
I'm gonna take my sci-fi out of the way right now, and we'll go Predator.
Okay.
I'll
See, I
take
was
That was
thinking
my
Predator.
maybe
second option, yeah.
I thought that was gonna go in action, but okay. But
I
that's
like it
fair.
in the you know what? I like it in the horror sci-fi a little bit better than I do in the action, just
That's fair.
because of like the
I feel like that's
alien.
it's supposed to be a horror movie, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, well, it's definitely sci-fi. It's
Like sci-fi thriller,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You
is
like
this
those sci-fi thrillers, dude. I
I
love
do.
it.
I do like sci-fi thrillers. Like I watch
rest
a
in
lot of
peace,
sci-fi.
Carl
Yeah.
Weathers, man. Carl
Man.
Weathers, Arnold.
So
Yeah,
wait,
Bill Duke, Jesse
out of
Ventura?
Ventura.
curiosity,
Jesse Ventura?
yeah. After our Alien Romulus, like for those who don't know, we had our Alien Romulus, like that was our test movie that we did. Did you ever watch Prometheus or Alien Covenant,
To Adrian?
Adrian? Because I honestly believe you actually would really enjoy Prometheus.
I think I've seen Prometheus.
Okay.
I've seen it a while, like when it first came out,
When it
and
first
I
came
thought it
out,
was
yeah.
good. I think
Yeah.
I dug it.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, I feel like you would like. I just need to come up with a list to recommend for you because I feel like you would just totally love a bunch of them.
And shout out Prey, I'd say is the second best
Oh
Predator
yeah,
movie
Prey.
outside of
Did you ever
this
watch?
one
It's
being
on
the best.
Hulu, I
Yeah,
think.
Prey is a good one.
Prey's really good.
That one was dope.
I want to teach my dog like she did.
What's she doing that? I don't remember.
She's like an Aztec warrior
All right.
princess, right? And she just teaches her dog like with sign
That's
language,
right.
and the
That's
dog
right.
is like a
Yeah.
military like assistant to her.
Bro, your
Essentially
dogs
in
ain't doing
tune
that.
with her.
It just stays
Yeah.
quiet and like still.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, well, Predator, great movie. I mean, you get
Solid.
one of the best memes of all time with the two of you son of a bitch and the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the handshake. All right, so that's up to me now.
But like again, another movie that franchise like
Yeah.
came out with and like obviously like crazy crossovers and shit like that. But like
But even the
a
crazy
bunch of
crossovers
movies,
were
like
good. Yeah.
what, like 10 total movies or something like that?
I mean, and then you also count like the video games they've had.
Yeah,
Alien
like
and Predator.
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
crazy.
Okay.
Michael's like, fuck you guys.
No, it's I expect. So that was the movie, Adrian. That I was like, if you that's your movie is
Yeah,
Predator.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
now everyone knows. Great.
yeah.
Okay, pretty good, Adrian. Pretty good. Full Metal Jacket and Predator. I've got The Princess Bride. Um, so I can either because I already went comedy. I'm gonna go drama, and it's a movie that I'm very happy you covered as a blind spot, Adrian. You mentioned you watched this today. Uh, y- y- we tried it. We're the three of us are Latin, have Latin heritage, and we try and make it a point to find ways to represent when we can. And my pick represents one of the greatest Mexican American artists of all time that died too young, and that's La Bamba. The
Oh, my
Richie
Richie.
La Bamba is another movie that we probably saw as kids that is heavy with adult
Way too
themes,
young. Yeah,
like
way
See,
too
especially with
young.
here's
but
some of
listen, I
here's
agree.
some of the problem I have with that because it wasn't it's heavy, but it was real. Like we experienced that as kids. Like we had
I know,
uncles
but
that were
I think
drunk.
it
Like
was I think for me, because it's the same thing with Selena, like I I didn't know that those people in real life had passed away because of the age that I was at, culturally and like socially, didn't know that. So at the end of those movies, devastated. Like, because I wasn't, not that I didn't understand death, but it wasn't really a concept that had touched me yet. So, like, to see these people who I'm like, oh my God, like, they represent Mexican Americans, like, how exciting. And then I'm like, what? Oh, they're dead? Like,
Yeah,
great. Like,
yeah.
I'm devastated now, you know? I think that's where, like, the heaviness comes
But
in. And
okay, the specific thing I'm thinking of is Bob rapes Rosie. Spoiler alert for La Bamba,
yeah.
but like rapes her, gets her impregnated. Tough beat for a kid to watch, which we did, and here we are talking about this kind of stuff.
I mean, did
Uh,
he rape her?
hey, okay, now we move forward. Now we
No,
move
no, for
forward.
real. Like I didn't. I just watched it.
Okay,
I told you it was a
she
blind
says,
spot.
"Bob, no, stop. That's it. What do you mean?" And he proceeds, and he was all drunk. I mean, maybe you missed that. Got to turn up the audio on your phone when you're watching.
Maybe. I don't know why she's
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to the
yeah.
room with him. Like
And he's beating her. I mean, Bob's not the hill you want to die on. But,
no, no,
I
no.
mean, I love him as an actor,
I'm not
as a
saying.
Fuck
I
character.
you,
just
Bob.
didn't. I didn't think he raped her. Like rape seems like a harsh word for me, especially like she seemed pretty willing to get into that space.
Nah,
Anyhow, yes, if she says no, I get it. But
yeah,
she ends up staying with
Yeah.
him. I mean, I don't know.
and there's plenty of people like that. That's not the point. The point is that it's not for kids. That's the point I'm getting at. All this is hard for us to comprehend, let alone a fucking child. So that doesn't take away from how great fucking La Bamba is. So I'm gonna go with that with drama. I
That's a
have
good pick. That's on my
I'm,
list for sure.
I got it on Criterion. I should have
Not
brought it.
my
I got it for
top, but it
Criterion.
was on my list.
Yeah, it's and it does a great job of capturing the time too, like the subtle racism that wasn't so subtle between like a generation and then the younger generation.
Or just because of the type of music, it's playing jungle music.
And while it's
Rock
on
and
the
roll.
topic, like even the rape behind closed doors kind of thing. You know what I
Uh-huh,
mean? Like
uh-huh.
behind your own kind of
Oh sure, like happening in his world.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But that's enough rape talk. Let's move on to my
Yeah.
next pick. Let's move on
Our
to my
pass.
next pick. So I've got comedy and drama out of the way.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
we're good here.
yeah. I think there's another one I know you might want.
Me?
Yeah, but I don't know if I want it that bad. The problem is I already took comedy,
I don't
but
think so because uh
sure.
we have opposite categories filled out right now. So I
I see
think
what you mean. I see what you
don't
mean.
think you're gonna take
Okay, well, I
what
gotta
I
go with my
think.
heart.
You better not.
I'm gonna go with my heart, and then as I'm looking at these movies, there's not too many to take from this category, but it does qualify.
See, this is
Um,
why I think we get annoyed because we already come in prepped with all of the movies that we
no.
want on our list.
Oh hell no! You went on a long old monologue about fucking Lethal
After she
Weapon
picked.
and Lost Boys.
After she picked.
Nah, let's the build up. Listen, motherfuckers, I'll draft the way I want to
Let's go.
draft,
Let's
and
go.
I'm gonna take
Make your
a
pick.
horror sci-fi, and I'm taking fucking Spaceballs. The Schwartz
That's
is with you.
hilarious.
The Schwartz is with you. Spaceballs and horror sci-fi. They're definitely in some
Let's
kind
just
of
make
space.
a little public service announcement because I know people were complaining about the draft being gone for a little bit. This is kind of why we get a little bit heated. We needed a break between it.
You know, Adrian complains about how long it take to pick. Then he goes and tells everyone to pick his team. But you know, I'm taking
Chat.
Spaceballs. Uh,
That's
dude,
good. That's
just
good pick.
when I was young and saw Spaceballs, as I grew up, I got parts of Star Wars and Spaceball like mixed up in my head. Like I always thought Princess Leia had a gun and was shooting everyone down. And
That's
that's
the scary
Spaceballs.
movie effect, right? Where it was like everybody was like, "Did I see that in Scream or did I see that in Scary Movie?" Like,
100%. You got John Candy as what's his name? What? Not Wolf. Is it Wolf? What's his name? No, it's not Wolf.
don't ask me about names.
I
I
thought
can't.
Adrian
I'm
would be ready
terrible at
with it.
that.
I am ready. John Candy was Barf.
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 His name is Barf.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks is in it as Yogurt and President Scrooge. It's just so funny. So many quotable lines here. They reenact the alien scene at the end of the movie. It's just such a satire to sci-fi. I'm happy to have it.
Fun
Yeah, that's a
fact,
good one.
I was not allowed to watch this movie for a very long time.
What was the reasoning?
My mom just thought it was inappropriate. Just like the overall, like didn't think I should be watching it.
I see. Fair
Mhm.
enough. But you can
But
watch
then
Star
like
Wars.
we were watching Austin Powers, so I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I watch that?
Or like
Yeah.
Howard the Duck.
I was.
That's
That's a real
not
weird one.
Yeah, that's
that
not,
doesn't age well.
That's not one for
No.
kids. No.
No. But here we are. We all saw them as kids.
Right.
All right. So I took Spaceballs in horror
He says,
sci-fi.
here we all are. It's like in therapy
And,
and,
yeah, therapy.
and traumatized.
Don't know the definition of rape. It's tough. Just kidding. All fun here. Okay, Adrian, you're up.
I'm gonna go Best Actor, and we're
All
gonna go
right.
Good Morning Vietnam, Robin Williams.
Knew it.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good movie. I miss Robin Williams. I wish all his movies were in 1987. That way I could say the only good things that came out were me and him. But he was a classic. And in this movie, he played a little different of a role. I think they still consider it a comedy.
But it definitely has heavy, important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have put it more in drama. But he was such a good actor in this role. I think seeing all his different characters and then having to curb it, he was a dramatic actor. He wasn't just a comedian.
I think I said on a earlier pod, like if you look at his actual, like outside of his voice work, you look at his actual resume of movies, they're all pretty heavy. And even the comedies
I think you
are
used
heavy.
it as a
Even the
hot take.
comedies. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his stand-up is funny. The stuff that made him famous was funny, you know. Him on talk shows is funny. But if you look at
a video resurfaced of him and his mom joking around together, and I was
I saw
in
that.
tears.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard, and it's like it's amazing. It really is amazing how deep his acumen goes. Like it was stunning. Yeah.
Singular. We're never gonna have someone like Robin Williams. He was one of a kind. I don't know. I don't think anyone's gonna take it, but remind me Jim Carrey by the end of the movie. It'll make sense talking about one of a kind singular. All right. Adrian Robin Williams, great pick. I feel like actor, like that was top of all of our lists. Erica, you've got 2 picks. Where are we going first? You've got horror and action out of the way.
You guys have both taken comedy?
No, Adrian hasn't.
Okay. I think I'm gonna take comedy this round. A movie that very superficial, like very like not like one of those put on watch just to laugh a movie that I have been watching all my life because it's one of my mom's favorites. And I'm gonna go with Overboard.
Overboard.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't
Um,
see that coming.
Really, because I like am obsessed with that movie. Like my mom and I quote that movie actually all the time to each other. Really fun, really gentle, like simple concept of like, maybe a little problematic nowadays because obviously he's kidnapping a woman.
If I'm not mistaken, this is where Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell met.
Meet. This is
Yeah.
how
Yes.
they
End up
start.
getting married, and
Yeah, they
They
have a
have never
son.
been
Their son's
married,
an actor.
actually.
Kate Hudson.
They have never been married.
well, that's where they met, I
Yeah.
believe, if I'm not
They've been
mistaken.
together all that time, but I've like never been married.
Way to go. Way to.
But yeah,
In
hilarious.
California, I'm sure it's common law.
Like, yeah, I'm sure. But hilarious, very like staple for like good rom-com, but I'm gonna put that in my comedy category. Because it does make me laugh like crazy. Like there's just great scenes in that movie.
Haven't seen that one.
No, that's a good one.
Michael, you're
you seen it?
easily becoming
It's good.
my least favorite
I like
person.
Can I just state something for the record, by the way? I mentioned plenty of movies that you guys haven't seen. It just, I'm man enough and honest enough to be like, hey, I haven't seen that. What a great pitch. Thank you, my lovely friend and co-host. I'm going to go watch it now.
Until you
Instead,
watch
y'all attack
Wally.
me.
Until you watch Wally.
Is that
shut
the
up.
is that the one?
That will be the turning point.
Hey,
is when you
Erica.
sacrifice your time to watch Wally.
Hey, did you watch God is Good yet, since I shared the details? Oh, okay.
I haven't even logged into Criterion.
Go ahead. Next pick. Next pick. What have you got? You've got
Did
comedy,
you guys
action,
both
horror.
pick drama?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go with my wild card
Ooh, taking it.
because I don't think you're gonna take my best actor / actress, Mike.
See.
I don't think you are.
We'll see.
So I'm gonna go with my wild card. And watching this movie as an adult who indulges in some vices.
The build up is what you're talking about?
Go ahead, Adrian. Say something.
Okay, but it is
Yeah.
what I'm gonna pick.
Okay,
I'm
that's
not
what I was doing.
deciding between two movies.
That's what I was doing. I got
want.
attacked. Y'all
My
on the
list
attack.
is here. I'm just explain. I thought you said this is a podcast and we need to talk.
Exactly. Go on.
So I am going to take The Brave Little Toaster for my wild card. My Nana had this movie over a VHS, like with the commercials in between.
Nice,
Like we
yeah.
would go over to her house when she was babysitting. We would watch this movie all the time. It was between this and the 10 Commandments. If you know, you know. If you had a Nana, you fucking know. So she had everybody's Nana had a freaking 10 Commandments on a VHS that they recorded on freaking TCM on the weekend.
One Easter. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
one
yeah.
Easter
Yeah.
that rolled around.
yeah.
And these kids these days
But
don't know about
yeah,
the VHS.
definitely a staple in our entire family. Like everybody grew up watching this movie, so I'm gonna go with The Brave Little Toaster.
Full disclosure, I have seen this movie. And I think the first nightmare I ever had as a kid dealt with The Brave Little Toaster.
Fair. Totally fair.
I don't know what that says, but I remember waking up like, holy,
There was
horrified.
definitely some points in the movie where it was like, this is kind of traumatizing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
On brand for animated films
on brand.
that we grew up
yeah.
with, Okay, excellent. So the Brave Little Toaster wild card. We're back to Adrian.
Ooh, nice.
See, I
Okay.
hope that neither of you picked my drama movies for your wild card. To,
I'm
like,
just
round
gonna.
out your-
I'm just gonna get my comedy out the way.
Nice.
I don't think either one of you guys. I think
Well,
you
we
guys are
both
both
took
picked.
comedy, but I got wild card available.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take it, and I'm gonna go. Born in East LA.
Nice. Which I
Cheech.
also would qualify as a drama, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's, I rewatched it. It still hits. It's still spot on. Like so dumb that they get deported, and he's just trying to get back. It's so spot
Hey,
on.
what's
People
your
getting
favorite?
deported right now.
What's your favorite bit from that movie? Like, do you have a favorite like joke that they do?
No, because I appreciated the whole movie. I thought it was funny.
When the Jesus keeps talking to
Yeah.
Paul Rodrigez, bring me
he
a
serves
beer.
him a beer.
Bring me a beer right now.
Yeah.
And
Who left that message?
I don't even remember. Yeah, that's a good question. Like, who's asking for that? Yeah, Born in LA is great. Another movie I saw far too young,
Yeah,
but
yeah. But it's so good.
it
So good.
slaps. Still slaps.
Yeah.
Fuck Ice. Okay. That comes to me now. I've got comedy, drama, horror. Okay, and keep in mind also, I've got to like organize everything also. Okay, so my brain's doing a lot of things
Hi.
here. All right, so let's take it easy.
I can
Okay.
taste it.
Lisa.
Take it easy.
He's stalling as he's like saying all this as he's scrolling through the list.
Yeah.
Why? Because
Movies.
he's smart. Okay, so I need an action
Look at
movie.
that.
I need. Oh, that's tough. I can't get some movies that I wanted. Ooh, I fucked up. Ooh, we don't have a lot of action. I fucked up. You guys already
There's
took action?
one more action.
No, I
You
have an
haven't.
action.
See,
There's one more action
ugh.
movie that's like pretty
The problem is
obvious.
Adrian fucking picked all the action movies in different categories. So like there's limited
And
action
what?
now.
And Michael, what did I tell you at the beginning of the
Yeah, yeah.
episode? You
Yeah,
should
yeah.
probably pick an action movie.
Yeah.
See? Like we could rewind really quick and listen to that back. I warned you.
Let's play it back. Let's play the tape.
Mhm.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, can
Because
we
you know
have
what?
our editor rewind
I'm
really
ready.
quick? Do a
You-
flashback of
I-
that.
I'm gonna take this movie. There's a lot of other movies out there that are better though. But that's okay. What do I need? Sorry, wild card.
You needed the
Action.
action, actress, and wild card.
Oh, I need my actor. Ooh, I could do that, but because Erica
Because I
hasn't
don't
done
think
that.
you're gonna take
You think? But just
who
watch
I
this.
think.
Okay. You know what? I don't have many options for action, and this might be the most 80s action movie out there. Some might say Predator. Some might say, but not enough sci-fi for me. You know, granted,
Shut
it's
your
from
face.
space, but a movie that's very important about, you know, in today's society, even in today's culture.
Police brutality.
RoboCop. I'm taking RoboCop in
I
action.
said, I was like, there's one that's like pretty
Yeah.
obviously
I've
has
got
to
to
be your pick.
I've got to take it, considering what we have here. You know, RoboCop. I remember more of like there was a video game of RoboCop. I remember playing on like Sega or something. I don't know. I feel like there was a game I played.
Sega.
No, am I making that up? Maybe it was another dream. But RoboCop, great movie.
What
Pretty good,
was the
pretty good
one
movie.
after Sega?
Dreamcast, like from Sega.
I think it might have been the
Maybe.
Dreamcast.
What was the first system that came out when you were born, Erica? With like you weren't around for Nintendo. I mean, when it came out, Super
Nintendo
Nintendo
64.
and 64, yeah. But that was like 90.
That was like what we had for the longest time was the N64. And then my cousin, he had a PlayStation. And then
Tony
my
Hawk's Pro
other
Skater.
cousin, yeah, oh, bro, we played Tony Hawk literally all the fucking time. And then my other cousin, they had an Atari and a Sega, so they had both, I believe.
Yeah, the good old days. Now, I mean, I have a Switch and I still play old Nintendo games on it. Like, there's something about maybe just the nostalgia that I have issues. But RoboCop action, that leaves me with actor, actress, or wild card.
Or wild card.
And okay, let me see what's on the board here because there's like movies I have to get.
You have wild card and actress left. Like you ain't got much.
But there's, you know, it's how do I want to finagle it, you know? Because there's there's two movies I want to get.
What are they?
And, yeah, I'll tell you right now. But I'm gonna go with my actor, actress. And again, doesn't get much more 80s than this. Rest in peace to Patrick Swayze, and I'm going Dirty Dancing because I'm having the time of my life. No? Okay. So, so Dirty Dancing's a classic. If you think 80s, you think Dirty Dancing, absolutely stellar film that captures the romance in a fun way. Obviously, there's been romantic films that have choreographed dancing throughout the history of Hollywood, but I feel like this one really captured the time that it was made in, to the point where now people still are reenacting the dance moves that they do on Dirty Dancing, in music videos, at weddings, at everything. So incredibly iconic Dirty Dancing, Patrick Swayze, Jennifer Grey. Jennifer Grey, also from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the sister, right? Not that one did come out in 87, so you can't draft it, but it is your turn, Adrian. Where do you take it?
Ooh,
I love that every time it's your turn, you're like,
I'm not
Before
paying
he
attention. I
goes,
don't know when it's my turn. I thought you had another pick.
shout out to my old dad. She was like a group instructor. Like she taught us how to like teach group classes. She looked exactly like Jennifer Grey, so we used to play that song for her every single time. Like she would play the song like before class would start, and we'd be like, "Yeah, like girl, you look." And she did, like curly hair, nose, everything,
same
looked
thing.
just like her.
Yeah, I love Jennifer Grey. She was she was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off with another actor that's in a movie that came out in '87, but I won't mention it yet just in case someone drafts it. What a time, the '80s. Okay, Adrian, you're up.
All right. So thanks for buying me time.
Yep.
I'm gonna go wild card because you guys already took your action, and I need some time to search one up. So we'll go
As
wild
you took
card.
all the others.
Yeah, yeah. Your
We'll
team is
go.
just full of action.
We'll go wild card. We'll go wild card, and we'll go planes, trains, and automobiles.
Okay.
Just a classic comedy. So good.
Again, John Candy, busy.
John Candy, Steve Martin. I think anybody with Steve Martin was just like he just played well with others.
Anyone in his proximity with
Yeah, it came like
good
he's
chemistry.
definitely, and it's just a good comedy. I love it.
I saw that for the first time last year. That's a Thanksgiving movie, right?
Yeah,
Oftentimes, a
yeah.
rare
He's traveling
Thanksgiving
for
movie.
Thanksgiving.
First time last year?
Listen, I'm going to start a counter, and I bet you it's not as spread out as you think it is, as far as how many movies I say you haven't seen, and vice versa. But it is a good movie. I enjoyed it. I think I watched it last Thanksgiving because I was trying to find something for the holiday. There's not. I think that's an underserved holiday for movies.
Yeah, for sure. You get
Right?
all
Not
kinds
too
of
many.
Christmas movies that start popping up. You know, the second Thanksgiving hits, you're seeing Christmas movies come out, like A Christmas
Yeah.
Story start being on. But you don't have Thanksgiving movies.
The Doors movie is a Thanksgiving movie. They have Thanksgiving dinner, and
The
when
Family Stone
They do.
is
that's
a
a great scene.
Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're out there. They're out there. So Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is
While You
probably
Were
the best one.
Sleeping has Thanksgiving in it.
Your favorite.
I love that
Uh,
movie.
speaking
So
of
funny.
speaking of your favorite, round us out here. You got two last picks here.
2 last picks. Obviously, let's we'll go right into drama to round out my movies before we get into best actor or actress. And I'm gonna take Moonstruck.
Moonstruck,
I'm
excellent pick.
really not that I'm surprised. I didn't think Adrian was gonna pick it, but I am surprised that Michael, you maybe didn't try to sneak this one in there. Cher did win her Oscar for this movie. Yeah, versatile. I mean, does she have an EGOT?
I don't think so.
I don't know if she ever got
Tony? Does she
a
want a
Tony
Tony?
for her show, or her music and stuff like that. But
She's close.
solid.
She already has a Emmy, a Grammy, and an Oscar. Needs that Tony. Yeah.
She did a Tony. That's right.
Absolutely.
But like so solid, like great movie. Again, another movie that I saw way too young. Like
Right.
shouldn't have been watching this while my mom was folding laundry, but there I was. But yeah, super super great story, super great acting, like all the way around. Not even just from her, everybody who was supporting her in
Young
that
Nick
role.
Cage.
Yeah, everybody who supported her throughout the role like did a very good job, and really really good performance from her there. So I'm gonna take Moonstruck for my drama. And so we go to my best actor or actress. And I am gonna pick an actress, and I am gonna pick someone who I think should have beat Cher for Moonstruck this year.
Wow.
And the fact that this woman still does not have an Oscar to this day really fucking blows my
Nice. I like
mind.
it.
Really blows my mind.
I'm already
And
typing
I'm
it
gonna
in.
take Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction.
What a movie.
Like I said, while Cher's performance in Moonstruck is absolutely phenomenal and really great, I don't think she should have beat Glenn Close that year.
You seen Fatal Attraction, Adrian? Oh, mark one up. Check it out. Check it out. Not with
Yeah.
Rosalind. It's essentially about a illicit affair. Then one side can't let go and won't let go. It's referenced a lot when you talk about like toxic relationships, to say the
Yeah, well,
least.
yeah,
I
and then
mean, it is called Fatal Attraction.
Yeah,
So
I mean
yeah.
it's in the title.
yeah,
It's in the
yeah, yeah,
title.
yeah. I can
All right,
understand.
Fatal Attraction, Glenn Close. Yeah, tough beat. She's been nominated. I think she has the record right for most nominations without a win.
most nominations without a win, which
That's
is,
tough.
like I said, really crazy because like unbelievable talent that we get from her throughout the years,
She is batshit crazy in this.
I
She is
like
batshit crazy.
I love that. I love when you get to see a woman go batshit fucking crazy and then they do it well. You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions about like how like women's rage and women's anger like shows through, and to have somebody be batshit crazy is like, yup.
When you're like warned, like as young men, and we're warned about certain type of people out there, Glenn
She's
Close's
it.
character, she's it.
Yeah,
Look
she's
out.
the one.
Yeah, check it
Yeah.
out, Adrian. That's your homework. Everyone's got homework here. I should write these down. Okay, next, Adrian, it's you for your last pick.
Action, right?
Action, baby. Let's see what.
Just so
Let's
funny to me.
let's
I
see.
got one. I had one the whole time.
Last pick action.
I just had to get some other movies out of the way.
Yeah, sure.
We'll stay true to me, and we'll go with the Sylvester Stallone movie, Over the Top. Stupid action movie. I think it's all about arm wrestling.
Yeah.
But it is a classic. Sylvester Stallone, arm wrestling.
You got Arnold in Predator, and then you
Yeah.
got Rocky over here, and Sylvester Stallone doing over the top arm wrestling.
Right.
I haven't. I'll admit, I haven't seen that one, but I hear it's pretty 80s, pretty
It's
silly.
all 80s.
Very 80s.
Yeah.
Very, very 80s.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. But that's your last pick at action. So all I have left is wild card, so I could pretty much do whatever I want. And I will say, do I be true to myself? Do I be a little bit different, think outside the box? Or do I try to expose a film that maybe people haven't seen?
You're gonna be true to yourself.
I should. I really want to. And this will help with like the older generation vote if they're, not looking at Adrian's team. Okay, so let's do this. This is the last pick. So let me just throw out some movies we didn't pick as I get to my pick. So then we can cover some things and,
So we can buy you time.
so we could buy me time. Okay, I'll just do
Gotcha.
my pick.
No
I
problem.
keep looking at
No
I
problem.
keep looking
You
at
do
it. I gotta be real. I gotta be real. I'll just pick my pick, okay? Just for you, Adrian. And Erica, I thought you were gonna take this movie at some point, but you didn't. So weird comfort movie, some incredible actors that you would definitely end up seeing down the road in more movies and more TV. This is another movie I saw far too young with my mom. This came out, I probably saw this when I was like 5. And that's Three Men and a Baby with Tom Selleck, Steve Guttenberg, Ted Danson, Nancy Travis. Have either of you? Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
the list.
we've all seen it. I brought
was
it up
on my list.
yesterday or the other day.
Three Men and a Baby. I can't explain why this movie. Maybe it is the nostalgia of watching it with my mom and knowing what a crush she has on Tom Selleck. She thought he's
I
like
mean, who doesn't?
the sexiest man alive, and
Was
it's
it just the
that guy.
mustache?
It must
Yeah.
have been. And he's
It's
like
the
he's like a
mustache, it's the short shorts, it's the muscles, it's the fact that like he generally plays really responsible
Bear.
characters, like really, like, well, you find himself in roles that you find yourself like trusting him as a man, and that's not something you really get often in films.
Is
and
that
in
just
life,
because he like
really.
shows his chest hair or something that it, like gives you like a weird
It was
confidence?
it's a thing.
Like weird comfort, like the more chest hair that he has pouring out,
I
like
mean,
the more
honestly, that does
comfortable
not
you are.
really. No, more of just like how his characters are in the films he plays, and even just like in TV shows and stuff. Like everybody was obsessed with Richard because he did everything from like he was such a good partner to Monica, but like he had this one big flaw. So it's like that's just a flaw that
Oh,
had
you're
to do
talking about
more with.
Friends. I
I'm talking
had to
about
connect the
Friends.
names together there. Sorry.
Sorry, Richard. Anybody
Richard.
who knows Tom Selleck will know that who
Duh.
he is,
Yeah.
Richard. But like his characters are always like really ideal men. I think that's why a lot of women found him attractive because he was playing these really wholesome characters.
And there's a great role he plays where it uses that against the plot of the movie. In and Out. Have you seen In and Out with him and Kevin Kline? No, and Matt
I
Dillon's in
don't
it.
know that I
I have
ever
not.
have
So
before.
it's based off of what actually happened at the Oscars, but this young actor wins an Academy Award, and he thanks his drama teacher because the character plays like a gay character, I believe, and he thanks his drama teacher for like being a gay man, the first gay man that he met. But this drama teacher didn't think he was gay, and it's Kevin Kline. Now Tom Selleck comes as a reporter to get the story of this teacher the Oscar winner announced, and discovers something about him. Him and Tom Selleck. So it's another funny movie, In and Out. But Three Men and a Baby, great movie. Three Men and a Lady, a sequel that came and was just as good. I had a good time with that movie too.
I feel like 87 there was a lot of sequels also, like there was Beverly Hills Cop 2.
That
Um
that we didn't draft.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like I think there were a lot of sequels that came out, and then I think it was like the start of a lot of franchises that would like sequels would come out in like
That would
89,
come.
90.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what movies were you thinking about then, Michael?
So I was thinking if I want to get like real different about it, I was gonna take Eddie Murphy's Raw, his stand-up,
Okay.
which like revolutionized stand-up post Richard Pryor, does
Yeah.
not age well. If you watch
No.
it now, it's actually pretty tough to listen to. And at the time, before we knew better, or a lot of people knew better, it was hysterical. His whole outfit is
Still
iconic.
funny and hysterical, guys. Like
Some of it's a bit like too much.
comedy is still comedy, like just because the times, like I understand some people are more sensitive to it.
No, it ain't. It's not
But
about being more sensitive to it, though. It's about understanding like what made it funny at the time for people and what kind of like closeted either homophobia, racism. Like there's a lot of that in those type of jokes,
Yeah.
and we're just more educated on that fact because we have much more study on psychology and all the things, right?
So
So
like
it's
So
getting
if
into the
you're
there
weeds
was
about it, but
like there was one where like there are appropriate gay jokes. There are appropriate
everything
black
jokes,
jokes.
really. Yeah,
There
sure.
are appropriate everything jokes. And the problem with watching a lot of comedy, stand up, or kind of really anything in that area in those times, they weren't appropriate.
Right.
They're really harmful is what ends up happening. Like when you joke about certain things, that's what I think Michael says it didn't age well because it's not really something that you should joke about. Whether it was funny back then or if it wasn't funny back then, it's just not something
Yeah,
like
you
not.
can.
There's
Yeah,
certain untouchable topics, in my opinion, where you
I
just
think you can joke about anything, but there's repercussions that can come.
yeah.
It's just like in speech, just like in anything. But Raw just at the time, but I didn't want to draft it just because Three Men and a Baby was being true to myself.
I told you you were gonna be true to yourself.
Shout out Harry and the Hendersons. You guys
I
ever?
know. I was like, do I put this as my wild
I
card?
try to rewatch it. I think last year also. It's tough. It's not how I
It's
remember
just
it.
not as
not at all.
funny.
Throw Mama from the Train.
Throw Mama from
I wanted
Danny
that one.
DeVito.
Yeah, Danny DeVito.
Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Just looking naming these movies, a lot of movies had actors that were in other movies from this year. Like, there's some actors now that are starting to do that, come out in multiple movies from the same year. But back then, I think it was just the norm.
Right.
You also had a movie I watched for the first time today and preparing for this was Wall Street. It's an Oliver Stone movie.
Oh yeah, with Michael Douglas, right?
Michael
Mhm.
Douglas, Charlie Sheen, Martin Sheen playing father son,
Michael
Daryl Hannah.
Douglas won for that,
Now you're making me
I
switch to
believe.
IMDb.
Yeah, he won
Yeah.
for actor in a leading role, Michael Douglas.
So, I mean, he could have been taken as like, actor or whatever. Any
What
others
about,
that
yeah,
yeah.
what about
The
Bad?
Untouchables
Michael
too.
Jackson's Bad was considered a film.
But
A
it was
short
like
film.
but
It
that's
was
kind of
18 minutes.
cheating. I mean, it could be a wild card. I won't say that.
I almost picked it as the wild card.
Yeah. And then Erica, you said Untouchables. That's a good gangster film.
Untouchables, yeah.
So here's one I
Masters of
watched.
the Universe.
Was that
Empire of the
87?
Sun
Masters of the
too was
Universe with
that
Dolph
year.
Lundgren.
So Empire of the Sun, I almost took for actor and take Christian Bale because this is Christian Bale like in his first role, and he's working with Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg, and like a lot of the movie he carries.
I was a little shocked that you didn't,
Yeah, I
but
thought about it, and we got to mention another movie I watched in prep for this. I was trying to catch these blind spots that you guys yell at me about. The Last Emperor won cleaned
Yeah.
house at the
yes.
Oscars. So I checked it out. Woo. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
right?
I don't know. It's one of those ones where it was a fine movie, but to win that many Oscars, midway through the movie, you understood what the movie was trying to say and do. So by the end of it just felt long. But nonetheless,
Yeah.
any other ones?
Fun fact, Harry and the Hendersons won an Oscar for makeup.
Yeah, proper. I'll allow it.
And it was only against one other film.
There's just 2 movies nominated. That's tough.
That is tough.
Yeah, Prince, Sign of the Times. If you want to talk about, that's a live concert
Yeah.
for Prince. I thought of that for wild card. And then just one other one I'll mention because I watched it earlier today too, is an Iranian film that was highly rated on Letterboxd, popular, all the things. Where is the Friend's House? And long story short, we're in Iran. We're at a school. This little boy gets yelled at and embarrassed by the teacher for not having his notebook. And then one of his friends accidentally takes his notebook home after school. So he spends the whole movie trying to find this kid and where he lives in Iran to get the notebook back. And it's really a commentary on how children are often ignored and listened, and that adults always know best, even though they're just hypocrites, which was really interesting. A little bit more heady. Nothing. The agent's over it already. But yeah, that's our draft. Let's do a really quick recap. I had the first pick, so I'll just do mine real quick. First pick, I went Princess Bride in comedy. Then I went La Bamba in drama, by Richie. Spaceballs, Mela Schwartz in horror and sci-fi. RoboCop, baby, in action. Patrick Swayze as best actor in Dirty Dancing. And then my wild card was Three Men and a Baby. Adrian, what did you have?
Right. I went drama first, and I went Full Metal Jacket. Then I went Predator for sci-fi horror. And then I had my best actor, Robin Williams, in Good Morning Vietnam. Then I went comedy, Born in East LA.
And happening.
What's a happening? Right. What's happening?
What's happening?
Then I did my wild card, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and finished up with Over the Top in my action.
Lovely. Erica, what do you got?
So I never remember what order I picked them in.
So do you
I'm
just
gonna
scratch
go
off?
from
Do you
down.
do you just have a list and just like scratch and circle, or what's
Well,
your?
I'll have my list, right? So like you picked Princess Bride, so I scribbled it out because it's no longer available. And then whenever I get picked, I just put a little star next to it. Like, okay, I won that one.
Got it. Okay, well, go ahead. It's fine.
So for my action movie, I took Lethal Weapon. For my comedy, I took Overboard. Horror sci-fi, I took The Lost Boys. Drama with Cher, I picked Moonstruck. Best actor, actress, I took Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction. And for my wild card, I took The Brave Little Toaster.
Little son of a bitch gave me nightmares. Well, thank you guys for joining us for this draft. Pretty good. I feel we covered pretty much all the movies that
We'll
is in
let
our
you know if we're
wheelhouse.
drafting again based on the results that happen.
Yeah. Let's keep it fair and honest. Go to our Instagram, seeingthis.pod, to vote for who had the best draft. Make sure to like, follow, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Let's do some jumping jacks also while you're at it. And fun slate of movies coming up for bonus episodes. We have an anniversary episode coming up. Should we give it away now?
Might as well give some anticipation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next bonus episode will be how many years was it? 30-year anniversary of a Goofy movie.
Wait, 30 or 25?
I see. I'm blowing the promo. That's my fault. I set myself up for that.
Yeah, you
I
did.
thought you said that you like write all this stuff down and have it organized beforehand.
Well, for the draft, to get the 1995 30 year. Let's
Okay, it's
go.
30.
Know what I'm talking about. So make sure to tune in for that. Our main episode. Did we figure out what we're doing for that? Did we figure out? Have we discussed our Monday episode? No, for a new release. You know what? Executive
We did not.
decision on the spot. If you guys are up for it, because I saw it's available for us to find and watch. The Monkey.
I almost watched that the other day.
The Monkey is now
Yeah.
available, so
We could
I'll
do the
probably have to
monkey.
cut that part out. But the Monkey.
That's the one. That's the horror one, right?
Yeah. The Stephen
Yeah.
King adaptation.
I'm
Yeah.
excited
So
about
tune
that
in for
one.
that. Thank you guys for listening.
Which I
SeeingThisPod.com for
believe
all the
the
things.
Stephen King was like,
He dug it.
like he went to go see it and was like, loved it. So
Yeah. Still in
that's
theaters, I
exciting.
believe, so check it out. I believe it's on video on demand, so you can stay at the comfort of your couch and rent it. But we'll see you then. Thanks for listening. Till then, stay safe.